What's up, everybody? My name is Joshua Yoder, and this is the Joshua Yoder Show. And today I'm joined by two people that I've come to know and love quite a lot. And we're kind of here to talk about some wrestling and I guess you could say some love, if you will. Oh, today joining me are Danny and Rodney, or you know them as the Pit Chick and RD Mosh. What's up, guys?
Hello, peoples.
Hi, everybody.
Man, thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so well, I guess we're coming off a nice little show here a couple weeks back. How would you guys say the show went for you guys?
Well, we're still tag team champions, but my chest still kind of hurts.
I wonder how that happened.
They hit hard.
They look brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, I got DQ'd for the first time. I don't think that's really anything to brag about. But I got DQ'd. I got disqualified.
That medication that you were on for your sickness, did that mess up with your hormones and make you go ragey?
Hey, listen, it was medication that I was prescribed.
Okay. Still.
So my actions may have been more unruly than normal, but I don't know. I just snapped. I just freaking snapped.
Just glad it wasn't on me.
Well, to be fair, I think you were dealing with what, bronchitis?
Bronchitis, a viral infection, and a lower respiratory infection.
Yikes!
I finally finished my antibiotics.
Woohoo!
I'm glad still it wasn't at me.
You got lucky.
But hey, as we said, you guys, how's it feel now to start the new year as an official married couple?
Feels the same. In every good way possible. People ask me this at work all the time. They'll be like, "Oh, hey, how's married life?" And I'm like, "It's married life." They're like, "Has anything changed?" I'm like, "No, but everything is great how it was, so nothing needs to change other than
That's a lie.
okay, other than my legal name, I'm officially
Exactly.
a deal.
Exactly.
That is the only thing that has changed. They mean relationship-wise.
Oh, okay. But still, you can't say that
They
nothing
say
has changed.
like anything has changed between us.
Oh, okay.
Is what people are asking.
Well,
The name change is an assumed thing.
you can't always assume that nowadays.
Valid.
So your name changed. There's a big
Yeah,
change.
that is a big change.
Exactly. Other than that, no, she still drives me crazy.
He still drives me crazy.
Love is in the air, is it not?
I've tried to run away, but yet, she grabs me hold of the mohawk and pulls me
He's
back
done.
in.
So, how long is it now you guys have been together?
4? Yeah.
It will be in May. May will be 4 years.
Oh, geez, is it amazing how time flies, hasn't it?
Right?
Oh, wait, are we still counting normal or dog years? Because I count in dog years sometimes, and that's about 50.
But hey, man. So, how did you guys even meet? Like, how did this come about?
Well, appropriateness. We
We
met.
met online.
Yeah.
Online dating sites.
And I didn't believe she was real because, come on now, look how pretty this face looks. Look at this ugly mug. But 100%, I didn't think she was real, to be honest with you.
He thought he was being catfished.
Come on now. And also didn't help that it was during the catfish TV show era. So,
Snapchat filters. Snapchat filters were definitely a huge thing. Still, I mean, still are, I guess. I just never use my Snapchat anymore.
It's just really more going with like who also let this go. And praise the Lord that somebody did, because then I found it.
Oh, hey, that works then. Because and
Valid.
and unfortunately though, the whole catfishing thing's still going on, which is unfortunate.
Oh yeah. But you got lucky.
I can say I officially never have been catfished, at least. That I know.
Hey,
of.
nothing wrong with that. I'd rather not be catfished than catfished.
Yeah, right.
There was definitely somebody that I met up with at one point that did not look remote. Like they looked like their pictures, but you can tell the pictures were old. And I was like, no, I'm good. Bye.
Good call.
This was you 50 pounds ago.
Huh.
Yeah. Before your time.
Okay.
Before your time.
So what was the first, I guess you could say, first date like when you guys finally met?
Oh shit, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. I drove up here because I lived in Tyrone at that time. I drove up to Lewistown to meet with him, hang out, kind of get to know him a little bit. Shush.
I cooked dinner.
He did cook dinner. But since I wasn't familiar with the area and it was dark by the time I got up here, I texted him. I was like, hey, I think I'm outside because my GPS also told me it was a house across the street. And he came out and I was just, fiddling with things in my car, and he scared the absolute shit out of me. Came over and smacked my window.
I didn't smack it. I tapped.
It sounded like a smack.
I tapped on the fish
inside.
tank.
I jumped and I literally looked up and I just saw those crystal blue eyes, and I was like, the really nerdy kid from The Simpsons on the bus where he's like, I'm in danger. That kid, that's where my brain went. That's
Nelson.
Nelson. My brain went full Nelson. I was like, I'm in danger. This man's gonna shatter my freaking heart, and I already know it. I'm gonna get attached. And
that was before she even had my cooking at that point. And at that point, you feed the woman. She's like, hey, it's not peanut butter and jelly sandwich or dino nuggets.
Well, that, and there's like, I don't want to call it nerd paraphernalia, but nerd paraphernalia. As soon as you walk in the door, there's a whole bookshelf of Power Rangers and wrestling stuff, and then I see a Super Nintendo chilling out, and I was just like, okay, I can vibe with this.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a little Power Rangers, some N64. That sounds like a good time.
I was like, we can play video games together. I like that.
Oh, there was a Super Nintendo, there was a Switch. Man, it was all. Sadly enough, because I didn't play it much as then I probably should have.
What blew his mind was whenever I told him, hey, I have a giant tote filled with like basically every video game console, all the old ones.
Oh, please tell me you have a Dreamcast.
I do not. I have a Genesis.
Oh, Genesis is good though.
Yeah. No, I never had a Dreamcast.
The search continues.
No, but the PS2 is upstairs. That's all I need in my life.
Hey, PS2 was a good system.
Oh, too.
Yeah, PS2 was a good system.
Yeah, we've got one of those.
It's legitly marketed down as the greatest system of all time, and I will stand behind that.
And I've literally had my PS2 since they came out. It's not the slim; it's the big, bulky.
Oh yeah,
the fat.
Yeah,
yeah, sir.
I was a spoiled rich kid growing up. So whenever they came out, I was basically like, "Mommy, Daddy, I want the new PlayStation. I know we already have the first one, but I want the new one." And I got what I wanted.
I was surprised with Christmas from Santa, and it was awesome.
Because I'm the baby.
Nice. But how long did it say you guys were together before you realized, like, hey, maybe there's more to it than this,
You answer that one.
Well, when you're hounded for weeks, we're gonna go with that, and it's not from just this one. There was a lot of people of going, are you gonna put a label on things? Like, kind of have to.
Like Matt was kind of one of those people too.
Oh, it wasn't even just him. It was also Trista and like half our team and everybody else. But they're like,
we like her.
What?
So before she runs away or you let her go because you won't put a label on it, how about you just put a label on it and make her happy?
I would say it was a little over a month, but I don't know. That's a hard number to put on,
because we started talking in March and we didn't put a title on it until May 25th. I only know it because it's my passcode for things.
The woman that can forget groceries and has to make a list. Hold on, and also has to make the list to call and order pizza or something for dinner.
I have social anxiety,
but yet can remember that date.
I don't like talking to people. As weird as it sounds, I have terrible social anxiety. Shows actually make me overcome my stage fright.
But still can remember that number, but can't remember
just stupid shit. I remember my phone number still.
No, I hear you. I do. I'm doing this talk show and I get nervous around people, so don't feel bad.
See, social anxiety is a real thing.
Still can remember random other things, but not.
Don't send me to the grocery store without a grocery list. I will buy everything I'm not supposed to get, and I will forget everything that I specifically went there for.
But let me ask you guys this. Obviously you guys are a popular couple in pro wrestling around in PA, but what got you both into pro wrestling?
He got me into it.
I didn't do it.
Literally, he got me into it.
So my backstory would be, God, growing up as a young kid, and it was during the Attitude Era and everything else, you'd go to family outings, and my cousin, who also, the rest of the town knows, is Andy Hoare, who does some of the commentary with us and does the shows with us as well. But he is my blood related cousin. We would hang out. He would turn it on because he was a fan, and at that point, just watching it with him, and all of a sudden I was hooked. We also had another aunt and uncle, not his parents, but another aunt and uncle in our family that also was heavily into it. So they would order the pay-per-views. They would used to tape them for us and give us the VHS tape to watch. God, I think I burnt through WrestleMania 2000 way too many times.
Showing our age.
Stop.
You're showing that we're old.
Yeah. But I think I burnt through a full VHS tape of that one time, watching it way too many times. But it was from that, met Matt through Andy. We all did the Don't Try This at Home kid and backyarded for a while. And then when Matt started doing HWF, he called me up, or I wanted tickets for the first show, and he goes, I need a referee instead. Well, 6 to 8 months of being a referee turned into now being 5-time tag team champions, going after singles titles, and legitimately living a dream that I could only believe as soon as somebody tells me, all right, you're going to wake up from this, because I still can't believe it's real.
No, absolutely. And now, Danny, you said, did you not grow up watching wrestling?
I did a little bit. So I grew up at the same time he did, obviously, during the Attitude Era. So I did watch it with my dad whenever I was younger. Nothing crazy, but my dad was very much into it. And my dad is, he's retired military. So we actually had indie shows at his armory a couple times. And I was probably like 7 or 8 at that point. It was before he deployed and everything. And so I was there, and I watched them set up the wrestling ring and on the armory floor, and I got to get in there with basically the Matt and the Tristas bring their kids. The kids were my age. We got to get in the wrestling ring and run around and play basically for a while. And I was also front row for my first hardcore match then. My mom literally tells people now, she wasn't proud about the whole wrestling thing for a long time, but she now tells people about how I literally had a couple keys from the keyboard that had blood on them hidden in a drawer in my bedroom because my mom didn't want me to have them, but I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But then my ex-husband, he's a mark. All he watched was wrestling, but it was for, I don't want to say all the wrong reasons. It was just too much for me. So he made me hate
the obsessed fans that we love now, but when she was not involved in it and wanted and went through the phase of I need to grow up.
Yeah. So I was very much when I got my divorce, you can ask my friends, I said I will never date anybody who even watches wrestling. I won't even bat an eye at anybody who even calls themselves a fan of wrestling. Well, then I met this one. And I got to see, I would leave work, take a break from work, drive up from Huntington and watch him train. And I got to see, the whole psychology aspect behind it and everything all the work that goes into everything. And I was like, okay, this isn't bad. Like, this is actually kind of cool. So, and then it turned into, I was just the girlfriend taking pictures and everything like that. I was a little bit of production for a while. And then I was studying a pleated skirt training the one day, and Timmy looked at me and goes, why aren't you his manager? And my jaw kind of just dropped, and I was like, I didn't really think about it, honestly. And he was like, well, if that's something you want to do, we can talk to Matt. And that's how the Pit Chick was born.
Now, mind you, when we did start talking, I did warn her. She's like, she told me about the ex-husband thing, and I was like, just so you know, I don't just watch it. I
do it.
I do it.
And I was like, what? do you mean?
So I sent her some clips and stuff of us in the ring training, or at least at a show or two at that point, and she goes, "Oh,
Okay.
I'm intrigued, but at the same point, I'm standoffish." I was like, "Just bear with me for a minute."
I thought it was like I thought it was fake.
Till she saw the
100%.
hamstrings.
100% thought it was fake. It took me, even me wrestling and me managing, it took me going back to my family's house with battle wounds and being sore from training or sore from shows, and them, seeing me hobbling around a little bit or whatever, complaining that my back hurts or that I bumped on my ass wrong and now my tailbone hurts or whatever. It took them up until then, or them seeing the bruises across my chest, for them to be like, oh, this isn't just ballet. Like, she gets hit, and she gets hit hard.
Oh yeah, that's been the number one thing, is being a fan myself, that people are always like, well, it's fake. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't, not really.
Is it played up? Yes. Could storylines be predetermined? Possibly. But is it fake? Absolutely not. Literally, every time we take a bump in the ring, it's the equivalency to a 30-mile-an-hour car crash.
Oh, I can relate to that.
Josh has been there. Josh did some training, and
That's right. You did do some training.
and it was,
I repped and wrestled.
yep.
And I
saying,
miss me.
and the fun thing was like Josh and I actually had at least a couple weeks of training at Rob's together.
Oof.
My first trying of getting in the business when Josh was in there, and I can remember helping him out, giving him some pointers of like, hey, here's some other moves you can try for certain things, while I refereed a practice match for Josh.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
awesome.
Yeah, well, like for me, when I jumped in on it, I didn't go into it thinking that, I just wanted to see what it was like. I didn't think I could last, because I was, as I've mentioned before, I was born with scoliosis, cerebral palsy, so I knew I couldn't really do a whole lot physically. I just wanted to see if I can do it. And then, I went 6 years before I had to leave for a number of reasons, but I miss it. And it was always a fun time, and I'm glad to see. That's kind of leads into my next question with you, Rodney, because we met because of the backyard stuff. Is it crazy to see where it came from to where it is now?
Oh, 100%. Like I said before, if you would have, like I say this many times, even to people today, if you would have told us as kids what we did as kids would evolve to this, I would have told you you're all full of shit. Like 100%. There's no way, telling us as kids what we were going to do is going to have an impact on the town today, and saying, hey, one day you guys are going to be the big names of the town. You guys are going to be putting on shows for 400 or 500 people, to the point to where a company is going to start up, and then let alone years down the road, there's going to be 2 companies in the same town running, because of different groups mixing and the way they things can fall out and come back together. I would have never believed you.
Well, we thought, yeah, and like going back to our days in high school, we thought it was crazy enough that people were talking about us, and we were just doing backyard stuff. We were just doing this for fun.
Yeah, 100%. Like when we were kids, I can remember having 100 and so, like at one point having 100 people from around town just coming to watch us do that stuff, and I was just like, dude, we're just kids trying to have fun and do what we see on TV, because that's what we want to do. And then I went off to college, and Matt ended up getting a wrestling ring, and I was like, oh, at least one of us were able to conquer a dream. Awesome. I'm going to support you. Like you're a great friend. You're a best friend. I'm going to make sure I support you.
And then
never thought anything other than that. Like I didn't think there was going to be much more than that. And the next thing you know, nature takes its course, life goes down the road, and here we are many years later.
Yeah.
Well, it was also your mom was not okay with you playing around in the backyard.
Yeah, she's still not okay with what I do now.
Mom thought whenever, I came around, oh, this girl is going to get him, like, she's going to make him straighten up. She's going to he'll quit wrestling for her. And then it turned into, hey, guess what? I'm joining. And all of our parents were very much not okay with it. Very much not okay with it. It took until recently for his parents accepted it a lot easier than my parents did. My parents took a while. Like my mom, my parents will not come to a show, but my family sends their support. Like my mom she always sees what we have going on online, and she knows when we have our shows. And I talk to her about them. Like we talk about them. She doesn't want to see us get hurt. Is her thing. So she's like, I'm good.
Yeah, thank God she wasn't around for the jaw.
I kind of wish I wasn't around for the job.
No, I'm glad you were though.
I'm glad I was too.
But yeah, no, but let's take it back a little bit too on this one. Dani kind of brought it up. Rodney, what was your initial reaction when you said, "Hey, what do you think about me? Becoming your valet at least, or trained to wrestle?"
Well, when it was brought up, like before that, though, you know how girlfriends can be, especially when they're very supportive, and I love it when they want to go. Be it when they're at the shows, they want to support you, so they'll wear your merch or kind of dress in the same style that your character is,
even though it's just my style,
just to give that vibe and help with whatever they can. Either if it's running your merch table, taking their phone or your phone and videotaping your match for you so you can see it and run back tape yourself at home. But when they asked, I was like, sure, I would love that. But then I'm like, well, then I just lost X, Y, and Z, like the person that's going to be running my table when I'm not there and all this other stuff. But then at the same time, I was like, I don't know how to work with a manager out there. That's a whole nother thing that I have to take a responsibility for. Excuse me. But also with her not knowing as much wrestling as I do, not only am I going to have to remember everything for myself, I'm going to have to do the same for her and walk her through it and dumb it down so she can understand, hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z. It was tricky at first. And in my head, I was like, I don't know if I have that patience and discipline yet for this. But at the same time, I didn't turn it away because I'm like, I'm not going to tell somebody no if it's what they want to do. And if a promoter or my trainer looks at me and says, hey, I want you to try this, I'm going to try it. And that's 100% what I did. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to turn away. Let's do it. And legitimately, it was the thing that ended up pushing me to be the next level that I needed.
Well, what about you, Dani? I mean, what was your mindset going into this? You were like, hey, I just want to see how it works. I don't want to cause any problems. Like, what was your head at it?
Well, it was very much I wanted to be at all the shows. I wanted to be there to support him. And then, he gave me a couple of his merch shirts and he was like, here, like, cause I was like, I don't have anything to wear. Like, cause I would be up from Altoona and I would just have, black skinny jeans or black shorts. And he's like, here, just take one of those. Like, okay. I basically raid his closet in a nutshell before my first couple shows. I would steal his chain, his wallet chain, everything. I was like, okay, I need to like dress myself up, look more of my punk rock phase. Cause I didn't really embrace that until after my divorce because I wasn't allowed to really like be myself. But yeah, it was when Tim looked at me whenever I was just studying, like I'm just sitting there watching and studying this, and my brain is, I'm gonna wear this with one of the RD Mosh shirts while I run his merch table at the next show. And when Timmy looked at me and goes, why aren't you managing him? I was like, okay, like I've had the idea in the back of my head, but my thing also was we were still kind of fresh ish in our relationship. We were only a couple months in. So it was one of those things where I was like, I don't want to come in and completely like steal the show or harsh his vibe or mess what he's got going on for him. I don't want to distract him because I can be a distraction. But it was also kind of one of those things where I was like, this isn't anything I've ever done before. This seems really fun. And I was like, and I can actually, if I want to make a whole new character and create basically an alternate personality for myself, I can do that, and I get to play with it.
She is a big distraction. Come on now.
And my big thing of also, because I didn't start managing him until after his jaw was broken. So I was ringside when his jaw was broken. I was recording his match from afar from my phone so he could watch his match with Red Dog. I could tell whenever Red Dog hit him, the way he sold was not a sell. Something in my gut was like, something's wrong. That didn't look like it should have looked. Everything like that. And then I literally, he was taken back. I was pacing like a caged lion out there waiting because we were still only a couple months in. And when this happened, basically until Trista came out and grabbed me, and her and I weren't close. Like we were friends, but we weren't super close at that point yet. And she was like, "Hey, you need to come back." And at that point in time, I was not allowed in the locker room. I was strictly a fan. I was the other half of a worker. I was not permitted to be in the locker room. So the fact that she was like, "You need to come back here." At that point in time, whenever he said he wasn't done wrestling, well, whenever I told him he wasn't done wrestling, as he's laying in the hospital bed, swollen shut, he's like, "I'm done."
You know
I'm
how the thing is, Josh. Your first injury.
And I'm like, I was like, "No, you're not. You're going to heal up. You'll be fine. You're going to get right back into it. You're not giving this up yet. I can tell you he still has it, the fire." And it was just one of those moments where whenever it got brought up of like, why aren't you out there with him? Literally, what else is going to make the overprotective girlfriend happy? Not being 15 feet away from the action, I am right there. And whether it's a singles match or a tag match, everybody knows I'm very close with Matt. I'm very close with Trista. So whenever you see me, when one of them get out of the ring and you see me going over there, first thing I'm doing is checking to make sure that they are okay. They're giving me the hand squeeze. Like, I'm good. Because that is my biggest priority, is making sure these boys are safe. And if something is wrong, for me to help communicate that to the refs. So that way we can take care of whatever. I get to keep my boys safe now.
Well, and I must say, and I'm not just saying it because you're my friends and you guys are here, but when I first saw you guys together and I saw Danny's look, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of a cool look you guys did together and all that stuff." And I was like, "Oh, that'd be kind of a cool look." And then when I found out Danny was actually training, I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." Like,
and sadly enough, that's our normal day-to-day look too. It's not like we
Literally.
just legitimately just for shows, we just turn it up a little bit.
I don't wear black lipstick on a daily basis. I don't wear makeup obviously on a daily basis. I worked an 8.5-hour shift today. I haven't even showered, real talk. I'm probably pretty gross. But I cleaned houses all day. It was rough.
But
it's like this is us. Like the red hair, it's there every day. I mean, fuck, I have thick rim glasses on. Obviously, I'm an emo girl. Sorry. Obviously, I'm an emo girl inside and out. But like, we just kick it up a notch. That's it.
Well,
his hair's down on a daily basis.
Well, to be fair, the first time I only knew you because I knew Rodney, and that was the first time I got to be introduced to you. So when I was like, "Oh, you guys are, dating," I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then you guys, getting to work together in the ring, I thought it was pretty cool look you guys had.
Our look has evolved so much.
I just let the inner hardcore emo,
I'm
like
gimmick everything, but and I feel like pretty much everybody would agree. When we kicked it to the red, that's whenever the whole look, like,
I was told no red and black, to be honest. If we're gonna go to that. I was told, did you know that, Josh?
No, I did not know that.
So originally we were told no red and black, or I was told when I first started, because everybody does red and black, which is honestly fact.
Yeah.
So I did green, and
hair, not our gear.
And I'm talking in general. I was told go to a different color, so I did, and I hated every minute of it because that is not my color.
No.
Like, if people know me outside of the ring, you see my vehicle, it's red. That's a way of life. Josh, I went to Indy Valley. You did Lewistown. our colors were red and black. That's what we grew up with. You were blue and white,
Indeed.
and you know, telling me I couldn't have my actual color. But then as we evolved, and she looked at me, she's like, "Why don't we? I want to dye my hair." She did it like it was like a darker red,
I was
amber
already
color.
doing like, because I wasn't, previous marriage, it was frowned upon. He didn't want me to dye my hair, basically. So once I got my divorce, I kind of started playing around with my hair a little bit. I was like, I'm single mom. I don't have all this money to be going to a hair salon. So if I do anything with my hair, it's got to be something that I do. I've got to be able to do this because I can't afford to go pay someone a couple $100 every month. So it was one of those things where I was just doing box dyes, and I would do like the purplish reddish brown tint, but my hair was already a very natural dark, almost black. So it wasn't picking up like I wanted. I wanted something vivid, and I knew, I was like, if I go vivid, I'm gonna have to bleach, and that is scary because I'd never bleached my own hair. I never bleached anybody else's hair. So a couple YouTube videos later, impulsive run to Sally's, boom, I went red. And at first it was very much like, holy crap, do I like it? I like it, but is it too much? I know it took you a hot minute to get used to it. He didn't go red right away. He was very much on the fence.
I don't like my hair being messed with by other people.
I'm the only one allowed touching his hair, other than during a match, if they grab a hold of it or cut it or whatever. But he was very much on the fence at first, and then more people. We went to a couple shows, and our team, they were all. I had the red, he had the purplish dark, and everyone's like, if she did it, it's your turn now. I'm pretty sure I still have the picture on my phone of when we went red on you the first time. The look on his face was priceless. I'm 99% sure I still have that picture on my phone. I don't think I will ever delete it because he's like, it's great. He's like, what the heck did I just do? I'm like, there is going back, but it ain't gonna be the same, babe. Just send it. But like it.
As fast as my hair grows, I'm pretty sure it would only take me like 2 months to go back to normal if I try.
Screw you.
Well, Nevin, hey, it's a great look nonetheless. But let me ask you guys your thoughts on the first time you finally got to like work together as like wrestler and valet. Like, what was that experience like for you guys?
Terrifying. I had no idea what I was doing. I actually have. I don't think I ever put it on TikTok, but I have the transformation video of my first time managing the boys at AON in Johnstown.
Yeah, but hold on. Your first time managing me was first.
Oh, the
Calm yourself.
That was fun. I forgot about that one.
The first time her going out with me was actually here, and I came out with a megaphone. And it was legitimately right after the first HWF show after my jaw. And I'm, medically cleared to be able to be in there. And we started to try new things.
We were heels then.
And I got to mess up a camera guy that was training and the fun thing of just in general. But her not fully still yet knowing everything and knowing...
understanding my duties fully.
It plays a lot in that factor, but also on my end, not knowing sure how to fully commit to having that extra person out there was rough. It was a long process for that, especially even after the first show, but even training constantly when we ran through whatever we could so I could get used to it and get comfortable with it, because it's a big difference. Because before that, had a couple matches under my belt being out there by myself, but I'm like, I don't know how to set it up to where this other person is out there and they're still getting their moment. But at the same time, for me, and you look at her and I'm like, I don't know if I'm okay with the spotlight coming off of me to go to her, because to be honest, if I'm the guy in the crowd, I'm going to be looking at her 90% of the
90%
time
of the match
instead of
what's going on in the ring.
So
Which that was a big thing for, especially whenever I joined the Suns. But back to my first show ever, the camera guy that he roughed up, I got to that was my first time I've ever like gotten to tee off on somebody. Full on just his mom wanted to fight me.
Needless to say, she did her job correctly. But
So we were heels, so I got my heat, but like I think that feeling of don't leave the locker room because his mother had to be stopped because she wanted to come back and beat your ass. It was an insane adrenaline rush. And I was, it's kind of like, it's a high. Like, it's weird. It's nice. It's fun.
Well, and Danny kind of touched on it a little bit. I know you guys, when I saw you guys work together, I know you guys wanted to be heels, but it was kind of hard when people wanted to cheer for you because everyone knew you. And you guys formed the Sons of Mifflin County. What was that experience like when you guys were like, hey, let's try to form a group to help carry a company?
You guys were already doing the Sons at AON before we brought it, before it debuted in HWF, the three of us, because the Sons had been a thing even before you.
yeah, so
That's where
I honestly hate going back and telling part of the story, but it is the history of the Sons. The Sons originally was supposed to be Matt and Chuck. And we all know that Chuck ended up going to do the bodybuilding stuff and now is following his faith and doing everything that way. And then there was the other gentleman that was going to be the tag partner, and things didn't happen because of attitude and just lack of fully putting himself in there the way that you should when it comes to the business. And Matt honestly just looked at me one night. He's like, hey, there's a booking. They want to use this. They want to use the Sons, but he's not fitting right. Will you be my tag partner? I said, buddy, all you have to do is ask me and tell me where I need to, and tell me where I need to be. I will do anything at this point. You know me well enough that you call upon a brother, the brother's going to answer. That's what family does. And that's for real. That's not just, in the ring. That's real life. He ever calls me and needs help, that's all he has to do is just ask. I do anything and everything that I can. And at that point, I was like, cool, what are we doing? He's like, let's do Sons of Mifflin County. It's like, cool. So I started to adapt to whatever he already had and we started to mix things together, and we did a couple shows in Johnstown that way, and it became time to do it here. And we had to have the right timing to make everything correct. And as soon as we knew that button needed to be pressed, it was definitely like putting lightning in a bottle, and it's hard to undo it.
Yeah, no, and I think that's what's so cool, because like one of the things I liked about the Sons of Mifflin County, and we should also shout out to Matt and Edward James as well. To me, I thought the SOMC was like the culmination of what we all talked about when we were in high school together. When we were building something for Mifflin County, because we live in a tough area. We don't necessarily have much around, but to see you guys form this group and try to help build something for the community, I think it was something like really beautiful to see.
Right. And that's that's one thing that we love to do when we're trying to come up with different things and naming conventions, or when we do promos. Especially when we do promos, we like to go out and be somewhere in the town. We don't like just sitting in one, like at a house or something.
Yeah.
We like to be out there so you can see that we actually still are in Mifflin County. Like everything that we do is 717 or Mifflin County related topic wise, just to be calling it back to the town that we know and love. Because honestly, like you said, Mifflin County isn't known for much. We have Hartley's potato chips. We have a couple things here, Asher's candy and stuff like that. We, as young kids, when growing up, like we've always wanted to be known for something. Now we're the guys that are out there representing Mifflin County, being the best that we can at what we do.
Yeah, no, and that's something I'd say it's beautiful. And speaking of something that's beautiful, I kind of want to ask you each a certain question because it's a setup for my next question after that. And I'll start with you, Rodney. When was the first time you started thinking, I want to marry Danielle?
um,
Thank you for making him go first, by the way. I appreciate that.
I
I see what you did there, my friend.
I can't put it in like if you're asking for an exact date or moment, it's hard to come up with that. Um,
You just know.
yeah, you just know, and there's a feeling when somebody's away from you and when you love somebody so much and they're not beside you, you don't change the way you act. You know, there are the moments that you realize that, hey, a part of me is gone when I'm not next to this person. And I'm not talking just, oh, somebody they went to the store or something. When, for us, we lived, you know,
An
45,
hour.
45 to an hour away from each other. So when we weren't around each other, we're like,
Literally, you
this kind
feel
of
like
sucks. Like,
you, especially even early on, like whenever I was just there, like we just started talking, like within the flat first couple months, there were moments where like, I was in Tyrone or Altoona or wherever I was at that point in time, and I couldn't, because of the schedule or custody or whatever, I couldn't see him for a couple days, and I could have just left here and be on my way home and literally have like an ache, literally like just an ache of being like, this doesn't feel right. I don't belong where I'm going. I belong where I'm coming from right now.
Well, let me
that
change. Yeah, let me change this question then for you, Rodney. Like, when was the idea proposed that you're like, hey, I want to propose to her?
so Summerfest was in August. Um, I had the feeling leading in through that summer. I was like, it would be like let's find what could be the right time and the best proper place to do it. Um, and the idea popped in my head randomly while I was at work, just doing my daily work. I said, and the fun thing is like you always hear about proposals, people having like a photograph, like a photographer hidden somewhere in the woods.
Nails done, hair done.
But like the girls always want to look their best. Um, but also you have the moments there too where how many people do you want to have around and everything else, and like how do you do it to where you can catch the person off guard the best so they don't know. And that's when it dawned on me as like our lives leading up to this moment, like everything, like her and I have grown so much together while we grew inside the business. If it wasn't for the travels on the road and everything else, we wouldn't be as close as we are, because like those 2 3 4 hour trips, round trips, made us better who we are together. So
When you're stuck in a car that long with somebody, you really get to know them, whether you want to or not. You get
it
to see the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it.
it kind of just led to itself. I said, cool, let's see if it was possible. I don't want to step on shoes of what could be or what is going to happen. I don't want to take away from every other moment around that day in general. I just want to be able to say, hey, can I do this? This is what I want to do. Can I do this? And it was already bought, ready to go. If not, I would have found a different timing to do it. But when I got the thumbs up and the green light and the jaw drops and the tears from the people I had to get permission from, which of course everybody should know, I had to ask the boss. I had to ask Trista if it was okay to hijack the part of the show. And when I asked, she definitely had tears coming down her, tears of joy, and said, absolutely, you can do this. I'm fully signing off on you doing this. How do you want to do it? And I laid out my plan. And that's exactly how it happened.
Yeah, and we'll get to the show. Believe me, we'll get to that in a minute. But I actually want to ask Danny, what was your mindset prior to that? Was there ever a thought you're like, hey, is this guy, would he ever propose to me? Or have you ever thought about like, hey, like what's going on?
Dude, hold on. Before she even goes down this story, you know the subtle hints that a young lady can pass to you going, hey, just if you're ever knowing my size is this. I and it's not just the blatant or the subtle hints, it's flat out being like, you know,
Hey, I just measured myself because there's a ring sizing kit at one of my clients' houses, and just so you know, this is my size.
which was wrong, by the way.
Hey, listen, my fingers shrunk. I lost weight since then. Okay, wrestling made me lose weight.
But either way, carry on.
There were. Okay, let's be honest here. Okay, I'm the typical girl. I have had a Pinterest wedding board for the Diehl wedding probably since like within the first year of our relationship. Let's be honest. I'm exact first couple months. Once you finally get the yeah, I started planning our wedding like a couple months after we started dating. I love you.
If that's not crazy and psycho, I don't know what is.
Ask any girl. I'm telling you. Any girl who is couldn't even be engaged yet. I was talking to Sammy about this at work. One of the girls that I work with. She's been planning her wedding with her boyfriend since they started dating a couple months ago. She's 21.
Hey,
Again, Josh, am I the only one that thinks this is crazy and psycho?
I wouldn't know.
We're definitely, you could totally tell the difference of the books here, male and female, or
with us spending as much time as we have together, like some people might look at us and be like, oh, they've only been together for almost 4 years and they're married. Like some people might look at that and be like, have you been together long enough? But then there's other people who have been together for a couple weeks, couple months, and they get married and they've been married for 20, 40, 50 years. It all just depends on the connection. I wanted it I don't know. I was giving him hints for a solid like 8 months.
I'm also very blind.
But I also have, you know, all of the wrestlers and everything like that chirping at me, whether they're male or female. When has he given any hints about popping the question? How's everything going? And then in all honesty, believe it or not, I wanted the ring to be able to say he is mine, but also I love that it has being with him, at least. Maybe it's because he's such a hard ass and he's so intimidating. When we're out and about, whether we are in a locker room or we are just out in public, when people realize and they see us together, they don't mess with me anymore. Very rarely, unless I'm by myself, rarely do I ever have anybody be like, try to hit on me or flirt with me or try to talk to me in any way, shape, or form, because I've got the Doberman within 2 feet behind me. They look at me, they see the beast, and then they're like, I'm not gonna touch that. I'm so good. We get a lot of compliments on the hair, but like it's I don't know.
But yeah, no, but let's get to
I've wanted him for a while. I wanted to lock him down for a while. I love the fact that he's married now and he's got a ring on his finger, so he can't fucking say that he ain't married. All the bitches can go away. All the fans.
Language.
All the fans. Because he doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. He's like, oh, the fans goo eye at you, but they don't do it at me. I'm like, you don't see the way some of these girls stare at you, especially whenever you're in that ring working. Are you kidding me? He is blind to it. I'm like, you have so many that literally are like, and it's not just because of your moves, it's because you look freaking awesome, especially in gear. All tatted up, mohawk up, looking like a beefcake in the best way possible.
But I will say this though, it was definitely an interesting night to say the least. Because when I got there, and little news flash for everybody, I had no idea this was coming.
Nobody did.
Yeah.
Well, how many people knew?
Way too many boys in the back knew, actually.
Well,
apparently the whole freaking locker room knew, and I am so shocked. The only thing that probably saved his ass was that there was a women's locker room at the convention center.
Oh, nobody in, like, they were not told, like, wide open conversation of the entire locker room. It was
that day.
A decent amount,
weird.
A decent amount of the boys in the back were pulled aside and let known. or had gotten text messages to make sure they were going to be there, like certain people that I wanted to make sure that they were around and didn't know if they were booked or not.
What's crazy is thinking back on that day, like I was literally, he's all like, when we have shows, show jitters, show nerves, they're there. We are very like anxious, whatever, in our heads, trying to figure our stuff out. But he was a little extra weird that day.
Yeah, it's funny you say
I
that.
chalked it up to he's going for the tag titles.
I had John Roden to go against. Come on now.
Exactly. So I was like,
I
okay,
was chicken wing for him to
he's
eat.
going up against Zach and John, understandably so that he's shitting bricks.
Well,
So, but then like after the moment, like I noticed as I was walking through the locker room and everything like that, like I'd go to concessions to get a drink out of the cooler. There were people in the locker room that were like, I was like, one of those moments where I'm like, do people stare at me like this all the time and I just don't notice it? Or like, is there something wrong? Why is everybody freaking looking at me? Why is everybody going out of their way to talk to me? This is normally not a thing. So like, it was kind of weird. And then it all happened. And then I was like, son of a gun.
Well, it's funny you say that because knowing Rodney for as long as I have, like, I knew something was up right away. I didn't know exactly because normally when I see Rodney's like, "Hey, hey man, how you doing? How you holding up? How you doing?" Like he gets all like ADHD and all that. But then he was like pacing back and forth, not really saying much. So I was like, "What's wrong with him?"
Now, mind you, at that point I was up to have the biggest match of my career at that date.
Time, yeah.
True, very true.
The bigger part, the bigger freaking Easter egg, you lying sack of shit. For weeks or months leading up to freaking summer. You know exactly what I'm about to say. Leading up to Summerfest, because every show he normally writes our kids' names on his wrist tape. Shut up. On his wrist tape. He had the Summerfest date written on the other wrist tape. Okay. For the first couple shows, I didn't notice it. Okay. Because he would write that one on. I would write the kids. He'd have me write the kids. He would write the date. I didn't always, let me see your wrist. Let me see what you have written on here today. Okay. The one time I noticed it was a couple weeks before. It was the Summerfest date. And I said, why do you have that date written on there? He dead ass looks me in the face and goes, oh, that's the never fall. He already knew he was proposing that day. He already knew. Well, but when I finally caught on to, like, I was like, wait, that date hasn't happened yet. Because didn't you put the date we dated for a while? We started dating. No. But he had that date written there, and I was like, so then when that day came, I was like, you son of
a. Well, to be honest, I wasn't smart enough till like near the end of the show. And shout out to Sam Bumgardner. He's the one that pulled me to the side. I'm like, it's really late at night. And I'm like, oh, I need to go home and write this. And Sam's like, hey, you might want to stay. I'm like, why? What's wrong? And he goes, he kind of was like, just keep your eye on the ring. I'm like, okay. Like, you know,
Sam Bumgardner had that ring in his pocket.
Sam had the ring in his pocket the entire show.
Yes, he did. And well, where I'm getting at was like, he's like, because he's like, we need you to like write this in your story. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
You're like, what am I gonna miss? Like,
yeah. Well, and Rodney knows what I'm talking about being in the business. He goes, when someone says, hey, I need a favor and like, I need you to stay, you're normally, you know, yeah. So all of a sudden, you know, the match is over, blah, blah, blah. And Matt's sitting there giving his speech. And all of a sudden, like, Matt's kind of like, right away, I knew what was going to happen because Matt kind of pulled his, if I remember correctly, Matt kind of pulls his arm around Danielle. And like, you're kind of looking away. And Rodney is like, oh, he sounded like, oh, I'm hurt. I'm in the corner. And all of a sudden, Sam's there with the camera. And I'm like, oh, no. Oh, my. This is what's going to happen. And then, like, all of a sudden, like, you're down on one knee. And Danielle just turns around and is like,
those were real tears. That was all real.
Yeah.
I didn't have any suspicions that it was going to be then until Matt. I could tell Matt was, no, it was Jimmy. It was Jimmy that wrapped his arm around me and kind of like grabbed me away from him.
Oh, it was Jimmy. That's right.
It was Jimmy. And like Matt, you know, just started doing the Matt thing and started talking, and he started saying about, I can't remember his exact phrasing, but the way he started saying something, it kind of started clicking. And then whenever he told me to turn around, I was like, holy shit, this is happening.
It's when he told you that you were doing a great job and that you could do anything that he asked you to do, and he's going to ask you to do one more favor, and that favor would be turn around. And when you turned around, that's when it was. And the fun thing is I may not be able to remember dates very well,
But you can remember where
I can remember those words very, very nicely.
Whatever, that was such a cool moment. And like, Ronnie, what was going through your head? Like, you were like trying to get to Sam inconspicuously, if you will, and like get the ring.
So
if you go back and look at the video, it looked like
the best thing is I looked at her and I said, I need a bottle of water, because at this point I need to get the ring from Sam without her seeing me, and she's right here. It's like, crap, I need water. She turns to Sam and goes, Sam, go get him water. I was like, no, you go get me water. And by that time, Sam and I legitimately did the bro handshake, drug deal style, and slips me the ring, and I put it right in my pocket.
and the
She,
whole couple minutes in your pocket, it burned a hole in it.
she then asked me later that night, did you wrestle that entire match with that in your pocket? I said, no, Sam had it the entire night. She goes, and when did you get it? I said, remember when I asked you when I forced you to go get me water? She goes, you son of.
Well, then whenever we sent that video back,
Then she's able to see the full drug deal handshake.
first glimpse, like it took until him saying, there it is, right there. That's where I got the ring. And then I had to rewind it and look, because they were very, very slick about it. And I was like,
Yes,
okay,
they were.
boys. Okay, boys.
But Danielle, going back to it, like, what was your reaction when you turned around and you were like, holy crap, this is actually happening in front of everybody here?
That was the thing is I was like, there is 300 fans here. I know he was shitting bricks thinking, oh my God, please don't say no.
Just know if she did say no, I was going to headbutt her soul, and that's straight. I was going to go, this is gimmick now.
Well, my thing at first was like, okay, we didn't talk about doing like a fake engagement or anything like that, like a gimmick type anything. So I was like as soon as I turned around, or as soon as Matt told me to turn around, he said, I need you to do me a favor. That's whenever I was like, this is really happening. It's happening in front of all these people. It was one of those things where, because he always said he would never get down on one knee. Always said. He's like, I won't get down on one knee. I didn't do it the first time. I will never do it. The fact that I turned around and this man was literally down on one knee with tears in his eyes, I was literally like, this is perfection. Literally, I couldn't have asked for it to go any better. Immediate engagement photos by Cisco, legendary photographer, okay?
And Sam.
And Sammy.
And,
and
300
fans. Like, I had so many different angles of everything sent to me, and it was the coolest thing ever.
So just an FYI, if anybody's looking to do a proposal, do it in a public place where you can have like an event like that, to where you can have 300 and some people get you immediate engagement photos, so you don't have to go do your own photo shoot later. Just saying.
Hey, that's clever. That's working.
What's convenient? Made sure, and like, because every girl, she'll run to the bucket list. She wants to make sure her hair is done. She wants to have, look nice clothes, whatever their thing is. When realistically, punk rock emo girl, we have two modes. We have this mode, and we have done up mode. I'm in yoga pants. They're not sweatpants. They're tight. They're not baggy for once. Normally we're in baggy sweatpants and an oversized sweater, or we're done up. There's no in between. So what other way to make sure that, she looks good other than show day?
Well, and finally, just this past month, I should say, the final moment, I guess you could say, of 2025 of you guys is you finally tied the knot. What was that experience like for you guys?
I had fun. It was a great day.
I'll tell you
Very
now,
emotional.
The stress of wrestling the Good Brothers, and then the stress of, making sure the wedding goes off as perfectly as planned for this one. I think I was more stressed to marry this one than I was to wrestle them. But And that's because I'm one of those people that make sure that everything wants to make sure everything's perfect for the other person. And if anything could go wrong, it could have and should have, because that's what it happens in those moments. And I tried through every bit of things to make sure none of that went.
We did at
All right.
first have one hiccup. We had one slight speed bump. And it was the caterers couldn't figure out how to get into the building.
Which,
So we
solving
kind of
on the fly always
very
works.
quick stall, like, hey, you have the time of the ceremony. Do you still need to cook the pasta, or is it already cooked? Because the game plan was they weren't going to cook it till they got here. And then at that point, I was like, crap, kids got to leave in like an hour. Ceremony's just about to go down. What the hell are we going to do? And she's like, we have everything cooked. We just need it. And I was like, okay, just stall. We'll go take pictures outside for 15 minutes. She's like, that's plenty of time. And that was really the only stressful part of the day. I even went and picked up the cake and the cupcakes, and that wasn't stressful. That little 2-minute cluster was the hardest part of the day. But I know every single time his mother came into my room, or his dad came down, or I ran into Matt, I ran into whoever while I was out and about, because he was getting ready above me. I was in the office, and he was up the stairs above me. Every single time one of them came down, he's up there shitting bricks. He's freaking out. He's freaking out. And I'm oddly calm, but I'm also not thinking about everything that's about to go down. Like, I'm thinking about, like, yeah, I'm about to get married, blah, blah, blah. But it wasn't until, like, I didn't let it fully, like, kick me in the gut until we were about to walk down the aisle, because I knew if I did, I'd have worried myself sick. Literally. And I didn't want to ruin my own day. So I was shockingly mellow. He was a nervous wreck.
Hey man, it's a big moment. It's a big moment.
And normally it's the other way around. Normally I'm the nervous wreck and he is the chill one.
Hey man, but that's such an awesome story, and I'm happy for you guys to see where you guys have come from to where you are now. So I guess my final question of the day would be, for people out there struggling, especially in today's crazy world, what do you say to the people that out there that hope for love or looking to find love?
Unapologetically be yourself. Literally. Do not sugarcoat it. Don't hide who you really are, because eventually you will find someone who is just as weird as you, if not equally as weird. Okay, if you're into freaky stuff, weird.
No, hold on. Let me correct you on one thing.
What?
Stop looking.
Very valid.
100% stop looking. When the time comes, someone will walk into your life at a moment that is unsurprising for you, and you will fall when you fall. The less effort you push and thrive for something of that nature,
it's going to find you.
It will find you faster.
You won't find it. It will find you when it feels, whenever your time is ready. Basically.
It's the same way, and a lot of people can attest to this and vouch for this. It's the same thing for when it's time to have a child. The more and more you try, the less that it will happen. When you just say it will happen when it happens,
that's when it happens.
That's when it comes about. So seriously, stop looking. Just let life carry on. And when someone walks into your life that you honestly can say they are your best friend, that you honestly don't want to go more than a couple minutes without saying something to them, even if it's just hi or hey, how's your day? And when you're that same person is the same person, you want to be like, how was your day? Hopefully your day was better than mine, because I want to make sure that your day is great and is better than anything else and that can happen in the world.
No, that's
or when they, when they're, on the way home or to wherever they live, and you're like, well, I really wish they didn't have to leave. When that moment comes, then you know it's the right person. But till then, stop looking and just listen, because that's when it really comes apparent and when it actually shows about.
No, that's excellent advice. And I just want to say thank you to you both for coming on today.
No, thank you, Josh, for having us, man. You know, anytime that you really anybody listening or even yourself, if you guys ever want to have a chat with us, do interviews like this,
So,
we're more than happy to.
No, I appreciate it, guys, and thank you so much. And I love your guys' story because I think it's, especially in days like this, like it's nice to see love and hope, shine through in a lot of darkness.
Exactly. And that's another thing too, is there is a lot of evil in this world today, and people try to push themselves and push what they believe and what they want and what they have to do and say, and not listen to anybody else. And that's where a lot of the world is going wrong today. But when you start listening instead of only being selfish, a lot of better comes about in not only your life, but everybody around you.
Amen to that. And I just want to say once again, thank you so much to both of you for coming on today.
of course, thanks for having us.
Yes, and hopefully we get to do this again sometime, and we'll probably be seeing each other pretty soon. And in the
We
near
always do.
future. Amen to that. And to all of you watching, I love you all, and God bless. Be safe, everybody.